All right, you do you, boo.
I'm
Do
ready
you,
to get.
you do you, boo.
I'm ready to get right in here. It is.
That's what she said.
It is episode 81. Weighing in with Travis Hartman. I am B Money, the producer. That over there is Weekend Trav. We are coming to you, folks, from two different studios. We're coming from my home studio as well as the TH Boxing facility, second floor podcast room there over, TH Boxing. I just said that.
TH Boxing Facilities.
Weekend Trav, you're looking good. It's I'm not going to lie to the folks at home, but I'm going to say that your shirt looks dandy.
Thank you. I think the bright colors are very, 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 very delightful.
It is very delightful. Thank you to all of our subscribers and those that follow our content and have feedback and yada, yada, yada. We appreciate you. We appreciate our media support as well with from TH Boxing, IF Enterprises, and Gulfstream Financial. And Weekend Trav, I over here appreciate you as always. So we wanted to jump right in here. This is episode 81. This is the number one Beards bourbon, which I think you have some. I don't have any. Beards, Bourbon, and Boxing podcast shot in Orlando, Florida, specifically in Laureate Park, specifically in a boxing gym, specifically on the second floor of the boxing gym in the podcast room there. Shot on a Sunday or Monday. Today is actually Tuesday, and dropping on
Wednesday
in the
7:15 a.m. in the world. Guys, we've stuck to this. I think this will be 4 or 5 straight weeks that we have successfully dropped a Wednesday morning podcast episode, and this is episode 81.
Episode 81.
I love it.
And Weekend Trav, we have some things to talk about. We're going to talk about number one, the event that we were at over this past weekend from Bally Sports and Entrobox. It was the Bally Sports Entrobox Championships here in Orlando, Florida. That was this past Saturday. We'll talk about that in a moment. And then obviously this weekend, the big headline fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Rolando Romero, coming to us from Brooklyn, New York at the Barclays Center. But we wanted to jump straight in to the event that was local for us. It took place here in Orlando, Florida at the Caribe Royale. Once again, that was the Bally's Sports Entrobox Championship coming to us from Orlando, Florida this past Saturday. Weekend Trav, give me a little feedback here. We were there. It was you, me, two friends of ours as well.
We've said this in the last episode that we are going to continue to support local professional boxing, and we were men of our word. We had 4 of us there ringside on the couch. Yep. I'm starting to love that couch, by the way. That's twice in a row that we've sat there.
That's right.
I think it's a pretty comfortable one. But yeah, it was actually cool. Like I said, we're backing our word up. We went and watched a bunch of local guys, and the main event was actually Puerto Rican, but he was local because he trains here in Orlando, Florida, I believe. But also we had a couple guys that train out of Orlando or the surrounding area. And I want to give him a little shout out. Corey Marksman. He is a light welterweight, which is 140 pounds. He won by second round TKO. And I believe he is now, I want to get this right because I think he's actually 4-0, but he might be 5-0. So let me double check really quick.
I think he's 4-0 now.
Corey Marksman. He is 4-0 now with 3 knockouts. And like I said, he won that one by a second round TKO. And I had a chance to chat with Corey after the fight, and Corey's only 21 years old. So he knows that he's got time. He's super young. He knows not to rush things. And I just would definitely want to say, Corey, you're progressing well, brother. Way to get the win. You're 4-0. Keep it up. Stay patient. Listen to your management team. Listen to your promotion team. Listen to your coach. And congrats. Also got to give a shout out to Derek Jackson. I believe his nickname is Diesel. And I think I posted a couple of times on our Instagram page about Diesel. So he's 7-0 light middleweight, and he won by second round KO. And that dude looks really strong. And he looks pretty good size for 154. Yep. So Derek Diesel Jackson, congrats, brother, on the win, and you're extending that record. And then, like I said, the main event was Christopher Pito Diaz, who is actually Puerto Rican, but I believe he trains in Orlando. He won by 6-round stoppage, and I think he's 27-4 now. And he's a 130 pounder. It was a good fight. The co-main event was Connor Coyle, who I actually sparred with like 2 or 3 years ago. And he won as well, but he won a very, very, very
Mm.
tight, close decision that
Mhm.
some people in the crowd thought he didn't win. I thought he won it by maybe one, just because I feel like with all
Busy.
my experience in judge and watching fights and being a professional boxer myself, I just was like, I think the judges are going to side with him because of his energy, his output. He was just staying really busy, even though I don't think he landed the bigger, cleaner shots. I think that he outpointed the guy, and I knew the judges were going to give it to him based on that, and they did. So, wrapped up with that, though, B Money was a pretty fun night, no?
Yeah, yeah, I would say so. Weekend Trav, we were there. They had Bally Sports also put on another boxing show probably a month prior, maybe a month and a half prior. We were at that as well,
A couple
and it was
months
a
ago.
fun night. But I would say top to bottom, this card was pretty entertaining. I don't think any of us slept on any of the fights. We were all pretty involved and engaged in the fights that were out there, and they were all pretty exciting. So I would say top to bottom, very very fun card to be at. It was worth the price of admission and hanging out there. You know, all the guys you had mentioned that won, obviously, and congratulations to Connor Coyle for winning that vacant NABA middleweight title. You know, so there was just a lot of activity and a lot of fun, and there were people in the crowds too. We saw Weekend Trav getting some photos.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, actually, this was the first show that I've seen in a while that there was some like Luis Ortiz, who
Mhm.
is a former heavyweight contender, and he's fought for the title a couple of times. He lost to Deontay Wilder. He was beating Deontay Wilder, ended up getting knocked out late in that fight, but he was there in the crowd. The dude's a super nice guy. They call him Luis King Kong Ortiz, and he definitely looks like it. He doesn't look his age. I went back and told you guys, I was like, how old do you guys think that guy is? You guys were like, oh, he's in his mid to early 30s. And I was like, he's like 43,
Yeah,
44.
yeah, yeah.
Insane, right? And then there was a couple other people. BJ Flores, of course, was commentating for Entrobox again in Bally Sports. He's been doing that the last couple times as well. BJ Flores is a former pro boxer, also trains Jake Paul now, and he's back in Puerto Rico training Jake Paul. And then, funny enough, Logan Paul's trainer for the Floyd Mayweather fight was there as well. So I got to see him. So there was a bunch of people in the crowd. I think there was more than just those guys, but that's the only two guys that I actually had a chance to see. And I also seen my good friend and matchmaker, Chico. He was the matchmaker for the show, and he did a
Right.
great job. But regardless, B Money, I had a blast with you guys. I had a blast watching some good boxing, and come to find out, we have some local talent right here in Orlando, Florida.
Yep. And they're going to be fighting again. I think that's going to be the same promotion here in July, and more than likely the same location there at the Caribe Royale, or did I say that right? Caribe Royale, here in Orlando, Florida.
I think so.
I think we had talked to one. It was Giovanni. I'm trying to catch his last name here.
Estrella, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I know he's fighting in July. I think Adrian is also fighting in
Pinheiro,
July.
yep.
Yeah, Pinheiro. So there's a lot of good local talent here. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, when you look, if you're looking for a boxing show, you're going to find one probably in your backyard if you look hard enough. And so it goes back to the conversation we've had plenty of times on this show. And I think in recent weeks, support local athletes, support local boxing, support local gyms. I mean, this is fun. This is their livelihood. Everyone has a dream they're chasing. And I tell you what, it was very entertaining to see. You kind of get the energy of the crowd for some of the local talent. You get some of the guys that have traveling fans with them, or maybe they're solo and they're just kind of the world against them. And it's just entertaining to watch those kind of battles. So I would say if you have the ability to go to a show and it's promoted properly, this one was promoted very well, I thought.
I thought so. Yeah.
And
The matchmaking
and
was really good.
yeah, matchmaking was very good. It was you could tell when somebody was supposed to be favored, because I think all the favorites won, to be honest with you.
They
but
did, yep.
But they were entertaining fights. So I had a great time. July, looking forward to that one as well. See what the matchmakers have to put together for us to hang out and watch. But I tell you what, Weekend Trav, I'm getting used to that couch lifestyle. I kind of like that, sitting that mid ring, that second row on the couches. It's pretty nice.
Well, I guess I think they still call it a ringside seat because there was nobody else. There was only, we were the second row back, but that's the one we wanted. But it was great seats, and I loved it. And we got to see, like I said, a bunch of local guys, and hopefully we're going to have maybe possibly Corey Marksman on the show, possibly Giovanni Estella. He's going to kill me, but I'm sorry, man. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong for sure, but you're just going to have to come on the show and tell us how to pronounce it.
And punch him in the face.
And please don't do that, Giovanni.
Well, anyways, I gotta like drum up some fury here. I gotta drum up some support from the fans and drama. But Weekend Trav overall pretty good. No, okay. The only downside I would say to this event, Weekend Trav, and this might be just me personally, is that based on where we're sitting, I wish that we would have had access to a private bathroom, because B Money over here, I think I peed at least 12 times, twice for every beer I inhaled, and it just did not stop.
I think that how many ever times you peed, I peed. So
it was crazy the amount. I couldn't help it.
I was like, only you and my grandpa pee that much. And then what happened?
Boom.
I turned into grandpa as well.
That's what you get. That's what you get. Yeah. So anyways, overall fun night. We appreciate all of them at Bally Sports, Entrobox. Good time. But Weekend Trav, we want to switch gears here because we got the big fight here this weekend. That's Gervonta Tank Davis taking on Rolando Romero at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be a Showtime pay-per-view Saturday, May 28th, starting at 9 o'clock. If you have $75, good Lord, $75 to throw down for this event and you're willing to, then go for it. Or go find a local vendor that's having the show and partake in the riffraff and the fun and the festivities at a local establishment. Maybe save a little money, maybe put that into the local economy. Go for it. But this is for the WBA lightweight title. Romero's the number one contender for that belt. And here we go. I mean, this is one of the main guys in this weight class that we want to see fight. And that is one Tank Davis. Weekend Trav, thoughts leading into this bout?
Yeah, this bout was originally scheduled for a couple months ago. And I think Rolando Romero got in some trouble and it had to get postponed because he was, I think, got rape allegations or something against him. I can't remember exactly what it was, but definitely don't really care at this point. This guy, listen, there's some interesting things going into this fight though, because I just have read a little bit about Tank Davis and I believe that he's about to be a free agent. And he has made comments that he said it's about time he goes on his own, takes the training wheels off.
He's flat out said this is his last fight with Mayweather.
And I mean, listen, honestly, why? Like, I don't understand why you say that when you still have a fight left with that promotion. You know what I mean? Like, let's just wait till it's over, then say that. I just don't see any beneficial by saying it before you're actually like, you have to work. He's working with them. They're working for this fight together. So I don't understand why I say that now, but Gervonta's kind of been that guy who just, he doesn't really think things through all the time. He's a very emotional guy. He reacts on emotions and makes bad decisions sometimes. He's had some domestic stuff. He's had some stuff outside the ring himself.
Yep.
Both of these guys have. So let's see if they both can settle in the ring, I guess. I don't think, and maybe Rolando is going to make a full out of Weekend Trav, but I don't think he has a chance. I don't think he has a chance. I don't think he can outbox Gervonta. I know that Rolando hits hard, but he's never really knocked anybody out that we know of, which could be deceiving because maybe he does hit really hard. We just don't know because he's never fought anybody. Gervonta by far is his toughest fight to date, right? So by everything on paper, everything that I've looked at that I could take into account, I don't see how Rolando can beat Gervonta unless something happens with Gervonta. Who knows? Maybe he's got some stuff going on outside the ring building up to this fight. Maybe he's got a riff with Floyd Mayweather right now. That's the only possible thing that I could think of that could get him beat by Rolando. Otherwise, Gervonta wins this fight. Like, and I'm sorry. Everybody that watches our show know that I am a massive boxing fan. I'm not paying $75. Are you kidding me?
That's a big price tag for this one. I don't even know what else is on the card Weekend Trav. I mean, obviously we know this headlining bout, but $75 is a pretty steep price for something that hasn't, in my opinion, been really promoted very significantly or heavily. And maybe that's just because we're coming off of the heels of April, which was every weekend was something jam-packed and something exciting. So we're just kind of rounding out this month here, Memorial Day weekend. This is kind of the final big fight, I guess. It's interesting when I kind of look around the betting odds and what people are doing. You have a couple bigger names that have taken Rolly here. We have Teofimo Lopez putting $100,000 bet on him. Okay, I don't even think he had that. I know.
He doesn't. He claimed that he was broke anyway. But you know what? I'm actually even more comfortable with my bet now
After
because
that,
you want to know what, TFOMO? We bet against you, buddy. Me and B Money did, and a couple of our other buddies, and we won some money when you lost to
well, we also
Cambosis.
have
So
our soon to be good pal there, Jake Paul, who also probably because of some of his spat back and forth with Tank Davis, he's also rolling with Rolly as well.
those guys are saying that, but are they actually believing that? I don't know. But again, you know what? We're talking all this smack, and I've said this multiple times. Who knows? If Rolly makes me look like an idiot, I'll accept it. But right now, it's just tough to make this fight because Rolly hasn't fought nobody. Rolly's 14-0. Gervonta is 26-0. And literally Rolly's fought nobody. So I think he talked his way into this fight. But B Money, who knows, man? These are weird fights to where maybe something crazy happens and Rolly catches him with a big punch and like drops him. And I don't know. But
well, here are the odds here. I mean, here's what Vegas is saying. We got Romero as a plus 600. Holy moly. And Gervonta Davis
fair.
as a minus 1,000.
Yep, I think
Meaning
it's fair.
you got to bet $1,000 to win 100.
This is one that I'm telling you. I know the odds sound like it's in your favor for the upset. I just don't think it's a live up. I don't think Rolly's a live dog.
It's probably not possible. But once again, it's kind of one of these fights where, hey, if you got a couple bucks to throw, just to make it entertaining, you could.
$100 will make you what, 600? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Well,
what?
I mean,
$10 will make you 60.
Yeah, maybe. But the problem there, Weekend Trav, is that you do that and you just paid for the price of admission to watch this thing. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
If I get bored, maybe I'll throw some money there just to make it entertaining. I'll follow on Twitter or something. But I don't know. I'm looking at the rest. I'm kind of looking at the rundown of the others. I don't really see
The
anything
only
here.
one that is anything is Arislandi Lara is fighting Gary O'Sullivan, which is Lara. They're probably trying to get Lara into another big fight. Which is at middleweight, because Lara fights the big guys. To be fair, too, Lara lost I believe it was a majority decision to Canelo Alvarez. And a lot of people that watched that thought that Lara probably could have or should have won that fight against Canelo. It's a long time ago. But however, Lara is a tough guy. Lara can box. He is one of those guys from Cuba. I believe he defected over here. He is a brilliant boxer. Nobody generally blows him out, even though I think somebody did as of late. But that's the only other fight on that card. And B Money, like I said, I'm a huge boxing fan, but I'm not going to put up $75.
It looks, Weekend Trav, then, that we're going to enjoy a 3-day weekend and not really have much to kind of focus in on Saturday and that sort of thing. We're going to just enjoy Memorial Day weekend. But you did mention a name here, and I think it's important for us to talk about it because this is pretty much fresh news here. It's Tuesday. I think it might have been dropped yesterday that Canelo Alvarez, it looks like, taking on Triple G. He's going to put the Bivol rematch on hold first. And we're going to go for the trifecta, the third bout between him and Triple G, which I can never pronounce his whole name.
Gennady Golovkin. But Triple G is what he's better known by. Yep, they're finally doing the trilogy. The first fight was a draw, which a lot of people thought Golovkin won. The second fight was very close, and Canelo had won. So they're doing the rubber match, or the trilogy fight, which I think the fight's fair. It's fair, but Canelo is peaking. Canelo is also younger, and Triple G has only gotten older since their last fight, I believe, which was like 2 years ago, maybe more, was their last time they fought. So I think this is Triple G's going away party.
We'll see. I mean, listen, he's still fighting really well. I mean, for his age, he still looks good in the ring.
He's still better than probably 90% of everybody else out there, maybe 95 even. But he's not better than Canelo. And I think that Canelo passed on the light heavyweight fight because I think he wants to get his confidence back, and he thinks fighting Triple G will help boost that up, which it might, but it also might derail it because and I'm not trying to overlook Triple G because Triple G is no joke. Like B Money, you just said, he's no joke. This isn't a foregone conclusion that Canelo's going to win. I do think that he will, but nothing's given because Canelo just got knocked off his high horse. Who knows how he's feeling, and who knows if he's going to be vegan again for this fight.
Well, hopefully
I'll make that
not.
prediction down the road.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that as we approach those months down towards the end of the year with it. But
will
I don't
Triple
know.
G get his redemption?
Maybe. So what happened? Let's say what happens when Triple G wins this thing. Are we going to be looking at the fourth fight to actually be the quote unquote, I guess you would call that the rubber match if they had the draw the first time around? So
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, listen, I think at this point, Canelo, yes, while he's still, in our opinion, pound for pound top fighter in the world, I feel as if he just basically has his wish list right now and he's just kind of going down the list. Like, you know, is there the passion there right now to reign on top? I don't know. I think now he's just kind of, he wants the big fights with the big paydays and to prove a point.
Yeah, I mean, and he is. That's the thing. I think Canelo was, after he cleaned out the 168-pound division, won all 4 titles. He was just like, I need another challenge. And that's why he went up to 175. And he did go up to 175 before that, and he fought Kovalev, but we all believe that Kovalev wasn't the number 175 pounder. We thought Bivol and Beterbiev is the better ones for sure. And it turns out that we were probably correct because Bivol ended up beating Canelo. But props to Canelo, man, because now he's going on to take Triple G, who is no freaking slouch, man. Like,
no, that's not a confidence boosting fight weekend, Trav. That's not a fight where you just kind of tee somebody up in order to get my fists and my gloves back.
Well, yes, you're right. And I didn't mean it that way. I meant it was a confidence building fight because I think it's a fight that Canelo can get up for and get excited for, because that's what she said. But I do think it's a fight that he can get excited about. And if he does win, that's a huge confidence builder for him to go back up to 175, rematch Bivol and beat Bivol, because he better be careful though, because Bivol might end up actually having to fight Beterbiev or somebody else. And if he loses in between, then that's going to really screw Canelo up. But regardless, Canelo's smart. He picks he's fighting twice a year now, May and September, which is exact same schedule that Floyd Mayweather used to fight, by the way, was May, September. Those were the blockbuster months. And guess what? Floyd Mayweather was a cash cow. Now Canelo's the cash cow.
There you go. And so it makes a lot of sense here. And I think this will be a good fight for him to get up for. But it's definitely going to be a hard fight.
There you go. You just lobbing him up for me just to smack him out of the park. Are you trying to get us canceled again?
No, we're not trying.
We're just getting back on track again.
Yeah, we've done pretty good over the past few weeks.
We've been gaining steam, and we're trying to keep that steam up, and B Money's trying to get us canceled.
Listen, all I said was that Canelo has a hard one in front of him, but he's going to get up for it. And that's Triple G. And you know what? If he takes Triple G down, then he's got to probably deal with Bivol and yada, yada. But we're going to be talking about Canelo no matter what for the next few years. Doesn't matter, if he loses against Triple G. But overall, that was the other kind of big news item, I would say, for the week. But yeah, so going backwards a little bit on what we had talked about so far in this episode. Yeah, you got Tank Davis and Rolando Romero. It's hard to get excited for, but that's kind of the bigger fight. It's for the WBA lightweight title. But so we'll see how that one shakes out.
I think it'll be a good fight, though. I mean, I think it'll be entertaining because Gervonta is usually fast and explosive. And I do think a knockout's probably going to happen. But is it a fight that I'm going to pay $75 for? No. I'm not really a big fan of Gervonta. I think he's a phenomenal talent, just not a big fan of him. I'm not a big fan of his behavior, not a big fan of Rolly's behavior. And you know what, B Money? I am going to pick where my money goes. And I choose to rather see local guys in Orlando, Florida fight on TV and represent other than guys like that. So I'm going to keep my $75.
Sure.
I'll watch the updates and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I was just looking at the props here. So even if you want to bet a little bit more interesting, you can get Tank Davis right now to win by knockout, TK or DQ minus 400. So I don't know. That still seems to be the Vegas favored outcome. So I don't know,
Yeah.
Weekend Trav. Try to make it entertaining for you fans at home that are watching this stuff. But overall, I agree with you. It's not worth my $75.
No.
Where that's probably going to not even fill. It doesn't even fill up a tank of my truck of gas right now. So yeah. Yeah. The other day, Weekend Drive was the first time, and I know you've done this because of what you drive, but I've yet to have to go from basically empty to a full tank for quite some time with my truck. And I did the other week. That was the first time ever in my life I've ever put in over $100 in a gas tank.
Yeah, I've put over $125 in mine
Well,
now.
I put the cheap stuff in mine, so I don't have to worry about premium and all that. But I put the cheap stuff, and it was over 100. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Well, I can believe it because I know why we're here with everything. Anyways, that's a different discussion. So we can try. Let's go
We're
ahead.
not getting canceled. Not today.
Okay, fine. So then instead of getting canceled, we're just going to put a bow on it. We're going to go ahead and go with final thoughts. We can try. I'm going to shoot it over to you. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I appreciate that. You know what? I'm gonna make a bold statement. I'm doing it. I think Orlando, Florida, briefly can be a fight capital of the United States. I think that this place has the marketing. I think we have the pool. I think we have the Florida governor. What up, DeSantis? I think we have all of that we could possibly make a run at that because there's a lot of good fighters and I just a lot of good local fighters even, and TV's already coming here. And Entrobox has brought some fans here. And like I said, we went a couple months ago and it was good, but last weekend it was full. That house was a lot more full.
Yeah.
There was a lot more crowd. They were a lot more enthusiastic and it just got better. And that's all you can ask for. If you're a promoter or you're a television network and you're putting on fights, you're trying to grow the sport. All you can ask for is better show every time. And there was better matchmaking, there was more fans, and they were more vocal. So you gotta give that credit. And who knows what's gonna happen in July because we're gonna go again. And now that we're talking about it, it's gonna get out in Orlando even a lot more. Because why? Because we're the #1 boxing, beard, bourbon podcast shot in Orlando, Florida, specifically in Laureate Park, specifically in a boxing gym, in our own private studio on the second floor of a boxing gym in Lake Nona, in the world.
Shot on a Sunday or Monday, but it's Tuesday. Yeah.
And we drop every Wednesday.
It's in the world. So yeah, I like it. I like where our heads at Weekend Drive as we enter into the summer months, especially July. That's going to be a fun event. And it gives me plenty of time to pre-sell it at home for B Money to get home late again with the boys. By
the way, thanks, wives.
Yeah, I'm not a spring chicken anymore, Weekend Drive. I just can't hang like that anymore. My body takes like 2 days to recover.
B Money, yours and mine both, brother. Took me a long time the next day. I had a barbecue at 3:00 p.m. and I was like struggling just to make it.
See, I'm not a big beer drinker, but we drink beer when we go to these things. It ends up being cheaper. How in the world? This is my final thought. How in the world was our bar tab only like $250?
Yeah, I don't know.
And for four of us.
I left a $43 tip. I don't know how I did that either, but
okay.
How was it? Yeah. I think you're right. Maybe we got hooked up, man. Maybe they appreciate us.
I think we may have, and it must be the beards. It must be.
I bet, you know what? I bet they heard that we were the #1
I think that's what it was.
Beard bourbon podcast in the world. I think they heard that.
I think so. So anyways, Weekend Trav, I'm going to go and wrap this thing up, put a bow on it. This is episode 81 of Weighing In with Travis Hartman. Thank you so much for listening, following along. If you have yet to subscribe, please do so below, wherever you're finding us, whether it's on Rumble, YouTube, if you're listening on Spotify, on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Amazon, wherever you find or listen to your audio podcast, we're there. So we appreciate the feedback and support. Like it below, give us a comment, give us some feedback. Spread it out to your friends. Ooh, that didn't sound good, did it? But just do so. Just do so. We want to see this thing spread like the monkeypox.
Plant that seed and water it.
There you go. So on behalf of all of us, that there is Weekend Trav.
That there is B Money, aka producer, aka beautiful beard, beautiful hair, strength and conditioning coach. He's rocking that headband, and I'm digging it. Later, B Money.
God bless.